What's up, YouTube? Gonna be swapping out all the suspension parts on my 2001 Dodge Ram. Got the inner and outer tie rods, ball joints, idler and pitman arm, sway bar links, front shocks. Gonna put some 2-inch spacers in there. There's the other ball joints and tie rods. So I got all the parts from 18auto.com for like $250. So I'm gonna see how this works. Okay, so first things first, gotta break these bolts with the breaker bar. So I'm gonna need to put the jack right on the center beam, just to lift the front end up and put these 3-ton jack stands underneath. Alright, got it lifted. Gonna be putting the jack stands on either side of the beams, the steel beams and the frame, just to hold it up. Alright, there we go. So lowered it onto those jack stands. That way I can just take those tires off. Alright, time to remove all the rest of the bolts. So I'm just gonna take these out really easy. And there we go. So just gonna have to undo all of this. There's the ball joint, destroyed. Tie rod, destroyed. Should not wiggle. There's the lower ball joint. It's gone. So I'm just gonna take off the brake first, because I'm just gonna clean all this out. So I'm just gonna kind of make sure that's separated and then take out the back bolts on this guy. Okay, so there's gonna be 2 bolts. They're both 21 millimeter. There's one right there, the big guy, not the little guy, and then it's the big guy right there underneath the smaller bolt. So we just gotta take those 2 off, and then we'll be able to. Okay, so this is the only 21 millimeter socket I have, so lots of fun. So there's one of them out. Hold that guy out. Okay, so brake is off. I just put it up there for now, not at the best place. Then took that off. So time to break off these tie rod bolts, 21 millimeter, and it just fits right on there. Okay, so I'm gonna hit all of this with some degreaser, just because it's pretty grimy. And there we go. That looks a lot better. I'm not gonna get grime all over my hands as much. Alright, so here's my 7/8 socket. Since it's broke off, I'm just gonna use this to take it off. Alright, time to bang the shit out of this thing. And got it popped off. So it took about 6 or 7 good bangs. And good to go. So I'm gonna take all this off. Okay, so gotta take a pair of pliers, and we're just gonna take out this cotter pin on the back. Got the nut out. So now just gotta take out the shock. I'm just using a 3/4 socket right now. I'm just working this guy out, and then it's gonna be the ball joints next. Okay, so I just used the pickle fork for the top ball joint, just busted that guy out. Put the brake off to the side. So now it's time to take this old shock out. Took the spring out over there, just degreased it. So I'm gonna put all this back together. Alright, so I'm gonna clean all this up since it's all exposed and everything's out. And there we go. Looks much better. So now I just gotta drill out these top rivets, bottom rivets. Lots of fun. Got one of the rivets out and working out that second one. Then we got 2 more. So yeah, this is lots and lots of fun. So went to Walmart, bought this hyper tough hammer drill, and then just bought a really good drill set, and then these hole punchers to get these rivets out. So drilling these out, just going up in size on the drill bits, just to get a good clear hole. And then I'm using this chisel hammer just to take off the rivet caps. But yeah, these are pretty big rivets. So, and almost done. Just got this last one. Just gotta punch that guy out, and then drill that last rivet out. And the lower ball joint is out. So working on this upper ball joint, just drilling out these last 2 rivets, and then we should be good to go. And got the last one out. So once I drilled through it just kind of just fell out. So a lot easier than the bottom one. Okay, so there's the top, and then there's the bottom, all ready to go. Time to put the screws back in. So there's the lower ball joint, all ready to go. Just gotta tighten those down on the bottom. So put the spring back in, and then I have the jack underneath just to help push this and compress the spring. Alright, got it all put back together. So once I put that shock back in, just to hold it in place, I was able to put the caliper back on and the ball joints in. So all good to go here. So just gonna count the turns as I take off this tie rod, just so I can get the alignment okay before I take it in. Alright, time to do the passenger side. So gonna show a time lapse here. Alright, so I got it all taken off. I just left the brake on this time, just to make it easier. And yeah, that bottom ball joint's a lot harder to bang out than the top one, that's for sure. Alright, so round 2, gonna drill all 4 of these out. There we go, got 4 of them out. Just gotta punch these last 2 out. And then there's the top. Lots of fun. Alright, so I put the jack underneath the bottom just to hold this in place as I take out that shock and keep that spring compressed. Okay, gonna let this out slowly. And coil springs out. So just gonna clean this guy up since it's pretty dirty and make it look more like that, where it's that black color. So there we go. Boom. There it is. Much better. Time to do the same over here, so gonna clean this up. Much better. So I'm gonna do this top part now, and there we go. Much better. So use a spacer, see if this fits in here, and there we go. I got the spring pretty loaded. Yeah, it needs a longer shock though, honestly, for the spacer. Okay, so all put together. Put the sway bar shock in to hold that in place. There we go. Okay, so gonna tighten all this down. Just was able to put the bolts on just enough to hold it in place. Pretty heavy. Alright, tighten the bolt down, put the cotter pin in. Good to go on that upper ball joint. Okay, so I got all the old parts out. That shock on the left didn't even come out after I pushed it all the way in. And these ball joints are not safe to drive on. So yeah, I'm just glad I'm getting all this swapped out. And there's those rivets. That's probably the hardest part of the whole job right there. Alright, so got the wheels back on. Done with both sides. Put the jack underneath, so time to take the jack stands out and just see how this thing rides. Here's the truck with the 2-inch spacers in it. It looks pretty good, but I'm gonna need new shocks if honestly I'm gonna do that, so I'm gonna take these guys out. And here we go. So here's the truck all finished up with the new suspension. So just gonna do a little undercarriage shot here, show all the new parts. So much better. Feel a lot safer driving this thing now. So hope this video is helpful if you're redoing your suspension on your truck. Definitely not a hard job. There's a new shock right there. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked the video.